good, everybody? Welcome back to all right. Now, Battlefield 6 operations. I think that I made a video on this a couple months ago actually about how Operation Agua. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. How Operation Agua was a disappointment. It was a huge disappointment for this game because, well, I understand that they were trying to, test it out. This wasn't going to be a permanent mode, right? This Operations Agua, but even with that, they still could have done better. Like, I understand that it was just a test and they're going to add it back later, but it's like, man, couldn't y'all have tried to make a better first impression than this? Because this was just a disappointment. Like, my whole thing is, like, okay, you're bringing back Operations. Can y'all please do something different with it? Because that's basically what Operations is. Operations, ever since BF1, always has been basically breakthrough. Before, okay, BF1 didn't have breakthrough. Operations was the breakthrough. Operations was the original breakthrough. It wasn't until, BF5 where Breakthrough was actually its own mode. But before Breakthrough was its own mode, BF1 was it was just Operations, right? It was basically Breakthrough, but with story elements. But I don't think that they should go that route this time around because you have to make it stand out. So I was thinking that they should maybe do something like you have the Operations, and it's actual Operations. Like, it's not just Breakthrough with, like I said, story elements. You're doing actual operations, like the actual word operations, because you're not really doing operations. It's just Breakthrough with story elements. So why not this time around you actually do something where it's actual operations and you have different objectives. Like you can choose from different maps, right? You have the operations that carry over with these maps that connect to each other, and I think I saw someone say this somewhere else where it's they should have these operations be you go instead of having it like BF1 where you just go from one map to a completely different map. It should be you have I guess Murak Valley and Liberations Peak, right? You have those two maps and it should carry over from one another. Like, the first part of the operation would be in the snowy part of the the map. I was about to say mountain. Have the operation start off in the snowy part of the mountain. I fucking said mountain again. Map. Fuck, man. Start off on that part of the map, and then the next part of the operation carries over to the sunny part, which is Murak Valley. Do something like that. And I would hope that they try to expand the map more. That's something I hope too. I would hope that they try to expand it, because a lot of these maps, it's I don't know, man. It's they don't really I don't really know how to explain it, but it's compared to BF1's maps, it's just doesn't really feel all that grandiose like BF1 did. Because BF1, you had these huge fucking maps that you would progress through during these operations. So I don't really know how that's gonna play out. And not to mention, with the whole maps thing, that's another thing with the behemoths, right? With the behemoths, that's something that people wanted too. You remember how in BF1 they would have these huge blimps or these trains. That's another thing when it's with the maps. I don't really know how you would do something like that. I don't really know how you would do something like that with the size of these maps. I don't really know how you would accomplish that, but that's one of the reasons why I think that they should try something different. Because you can still make this mode feel grandiose, feel grand, like this huge epic climactic battle. You can still do that. And I was thinking that you should probably do it to where it's operations, and you have different modes, different objectives for each operation. And what made me think of this in the first place was, I know this is going to be kind of a strange comparison, but Battlefront 2015, that game made me think of something that they could potentially do with these operations. Not only Battlefront 2015, but just both Battlefront games in general, Battlefront 2015 and Battlefront 2. I think those games they have some very underappreciated type of modes because a lot of the modes are actually they're actually pretty creative. You know, multi-stage modes. In we don't really have those in Battlefield. Aside from maybe operations, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't really think we've had many of those modes besides operations, where it's like multi-stage. You're going from one map to another. You know, we don't really have that like you see in Battlefront. So I was thinking that maybe they could do that for operations. Not only that, but just Battlefront's modes in general in terms of the objectives were pretty fun. You had modes where you had to steal. I think it was the Scarif DLC infiltration mode, where you had to like steal data tapes, and then you had to. Well, first you had to break through like this shield in space, right? And then you had to go to the ground. It's like a space to ground battle, and you had to steal like data tapes, and you had to blow up this place to like distract the enemies and stuff. Like it was really creative stuff. Now that I look back on it, I hadn't even realized like how creative some of these modes were until like I went back and played them. And I know for Battlefield, like obviously you can't do that because I mean this is a modern military game. It's not like BF 2042 where this was like some futuristic spaceship type of stuff. So I understand you can't do that, but you get the point. Like they should try and do something to where it's stuff like that. Think of different objectives for each operation and make them creative and make them actually have them like tie into the story. Have them tie into the story, because that's something I do appreciate about this game, is that they're trying to tie in the campaign story with the multiplayer, which you do see that a lot with multiplayer games now. But I feel like Battlefield 6 was one of the few games to actually do it right, because I'm not gonna lie, I hate it whenever other games do it, but Battlefield 6, they actually did it pretty good. How they have like packs, symbols scattered across the maps and the graffitis and just all that stuff. Like it's pretty well done. So I really appreciate that about this game, and I think having these operations, they would definitely be able to take it further, because they're already trying to introduce these story elements and tell them season by season. So these operations would do a perfect job at telling the story even further and giving more lore to this the whole PAX versus NATO thing. I think that would do I think it would be pretty good to have that. So yeah, I just wanted to make the short little video on it. I don't really know what to expect from these operations. I just really hope that they actually do something different, because although it would be cool if like they have like the story elements and stuff, even if they do have that, if it's just breakthrough but with story elements again, like BF1 and BF5 and like it would just be disappointing. But if they actually put effort into making it as cinematic and as grand and epic feeling as BF1's operations, then I'll be able to give it a pass. But but if they just make it breakthrough but with story elements, then hey, that's fine. As long as they succeed in making it as cinematic, then that's fine. But if they somehow fuck up the story elements and make it like mid somehow, like I said, man, I'm not gonna take too I will be ranting about that day one whenever they bring operations back. I will be ranting about this, man. But yeah, that's just my hopes for an operations mode. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.